Have you ever been in clinic and taken an acupuncture point at the exact right depth, at the right angle, using the right needle, and still the point didn't give you the results that you were promised in the textbook? Or have you used a prescription for points and not gotten any results with your clients? Well, you're in luck, because this video is going to show you exactly why those prescriptions don't work and what you need to do instead. And just a little hint, this video is going to help you get better clinical results with every single client. So are you ready? Let's go. This whole channel is dedicated to bridging TCM and Japanese acupuncture and moxibustion to help acupuncturists worldwide get better results with their clients and to learn Japanese acupuncture better. So a small thing you can do to help us reach our goal is to hit the like and subscribe button. Please also feel free to hit that little bell to be notified when we put out new videos about Japanese acupuncture and moxibustion every Friday. So for those of you who are returning to this channel, you probably know that I teach a lot of people worldwide about Japanese acupuncture and moxibustion. I kind of love it. I currently run a worldwide platform, ShinKyu University, committed to doing just that. Now, if you're interested in that program, there's a link in the description box below. But the point of me saying this is I've seen a lot of acupuncturists fall short of helping their clients. Why? Because the point prescription that they were taught in school is just too rigid, and it falls short of helping them find the key elements of where the point is and how it's expressing themselves on the patient's body at that moment in time. So let's cover the key reason why the textbook prescription for the points doesn't matter. According to the classics, point location was actually a fairly large area, and it goes without saying that each point expresses itself in a different way, usually one of deficiency or one of excess or a combination. The points also express themselves in slightly different locations and at different depths. This expression depends on where the person's body is at that moment in time. Think about it. If our atoms are constantly bombarding each other and interchanging with each other, then why wouldn't the point location be moving around in the body slightly as well? I mean, our points are our expression, the way the body expresses ki, our body's total energy. Now, I'm not saying that ki and atom are the same thing. I'm just saying that ki and atoms are similar. So if this is true, and the point location, depth, and quality are consistently changing, why do the textbooks rigidly pinpoint the location, depth, and angle of each point? Well, first off, while there are some classical references in the textbooks, they don't fully explain those references. And so oftentimes it just looks like a rigid location, like it has to be exactly right here. And as I said with the references, classical case studies are few and far between in the normal textbooks, meaning that the point prescriptions that you were made to memorize in your TCM education have zero meaning behind them. You don't understand why stomach 36, for example, is an immunity point because you haven't read all the case studies from the classics that prove that it was an immunity point, and you also haven't read all the case studies why stomach 36 shouldn't be used at certain times with certain situations. Now, that's just an example, of course, but I think you understand where I'm going with this. Also, I'm betting that you didn't have a hands-on technical teacher that could teach you the technique, the classical technique, to approach each one of these points according to the classics. I'm saying this because the classics, when you read them, often hit at the technique that should be used with that point in that prescription. Unfortunately, the TCM educational model just doesn't have the ability, nor does it actually hand down technique hands-on. Now, I want to stop myself here for a second and just state that I think that your school and your teachers did the best of their abilities to transmit the knowledge that they were given and to the knowledge that they were required to teach you, for example, for national board exams. So props to all of those teachers out there. I am one of them. I know that you're trying your best to make sure your students become amazing acupuncturists. Please keep up all the good work that you're doing. So how do you find an acupuncture point then? The true point location relies on how that point is expressing itself. So what does that even mean? How can a point express itself, and how does that change where the location is and how you should approach the point? So my teacher's teacher, Yokota Kampu sensei, often talks about point location that were scripted into the classics as more like a GPS location to an area rather than to a pinpoint location. The ancient scholars, they gave us an area in which we can go to find the location of the point, and they also sometimes hinted at the function of that point within the name. However, I don't believe, and neither do my teachers believe, that they expressed a specific location for that acupuncture point, because every human being is different and every human being's body changes every single moment of the day. And as that body changes, it's going to change the expression of each of the points. So a point that is often scripted for excess heat in TCM, let's say Li11, perhaps might be presenting as deficient. And without proper palpation technique and understanding how points can express themselves differently at different times, you might not know this and accidentally disperse a point that was already quite deficient. And you might create heat symptoms, let's say a fever or a rash, to actually get worse because you're pulling the body into further deficiency. So have you ever needled a point and it didn't go according to the prescription? I would love to hear about this experience. Put it in the comments below and let us all learn from your clinical experience. So let's get back to these GPS coordinates for a minute. Now, a great example of how a point is more of a GPS coordinate to an area rather than a specific location is stomach 36 that I mentioned before. Now, most of the Japanese acupuncture traditions that I've had the pleasure to observe and study in think that stomach 36 is actually a wide swath of area on the outside of the knee. However, to actually find stomach 36, you have to palpate. Now, you've probably heard of me talking about palpation before. I talk about palpation just as much as I talk about posture, and that's a lot. Speaking about posture, please don't forget to check out this video about how posture can elevate your current pulse diagnosis. Now, one of the main reasons that I think your education and most of the education that happens in TCM schools specifies the point so specifically is because TCM education is lacking the education in palpation. Now, let's take stomach 36 again, for example. You really want to palpate the whole area and find exactly where that point is residing within the area. And then you need to figure out exactly how deep that point is residing. Remember that Yang Ming is a quite deep channel, and so it can reside all the way down at the muscle layer or at the surface. Now, this is a little theoretical, so bear with me. All of our meridians are flowing at different depths. Some are waxing, some are waning. This, of course, can definitely influence the point. So the point then could become deficient, like a sinkhole trying to suck more qi into the body and therefore into that meridian, or it can become like a volcano trying to disperse qi out of the meridian and trying to balance it down. Now, when you palpate, your job is to find exactly how that point is expressing itself at that moment and at that depth. Now, this is what my teachers call finding a live or active point. Now, this is really hard to translate to thousands of practitioners across the globe via a textbook, which is why I think TCM textbooks really don't translate that kind of broad meaning of a point and instead really define it down to the exact angle and depth. Unfortunately, the outcome of that is that it's really, really rigid. Further, TCM education unfortunately lacks mentorship, which is the traditional way acupuncturists would have learned in China, Korea, and of course Japan. So rather than specifying where a point is in a general location, in general circumstances, it specifies it down to the minutia to where the point often resides. Now, if you want to start finding live or active points, I have a few tips for you. I really want you to first off, start studying the points. Find out when the point prescriptions work and when the point prescriptions don't. In short, you have to start studying the classics. Number 2, I really, really recommend joining a mentorship program like ShinKyu University. Mentorship programs like ShinKyu are going to help you hone in on what a live point is and how to influence it correctly. Now, number 3 is that I want you to palpate every point before and after you use it, and also check the pulse before and after. This is going to give you valuable information. So for example, if you thought that the point was excess and you did an excess treatment and it ended up becoming more excess, well then either your treatment was wrong or your palpation was giving you the wrong result with diagnostics. However, if the point was really deficient and you went to tonify and it remains deficient, well then you know the opposite, right? And if, of course, there's an excess point and you do a treatment and it's now normal, well, then you did a good treatment. And this is where you can take that information of the classics and start filing it away into your technique. And if you're unsure about what to do, I want to give you a piece of advice that I was given from my teachers. Your patients are your number one teacher. So listen to their bodies and listen to their feedback, because they're going to tell you when you're doing things amazing and when you're not. So I can't wait to hear your takeaways from this video and how you're going to put them into action. So please do put them in the comments below. And if you really want to start upping your Japanese acupuncture moxibustion game right now, then don't forget to join my free webinar linked in the description box below. I encourage you to check it out to start getting to the root of getting better results with your client every single time and getting a better technical practice. So as I said before, I am on a mission to bridge TCM and Japanese acupuncture and moxa. You can help me reach more acupuncturists by hitting the like and subscribe button and adding your comments below. Be sure to check out this video next about how you can change your palpation and elevate your results with 5 easy fixes. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.